right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our bi-weekly Dev Sync. Nazar, if you want to go first.
Sure. I've been primarily working on Relayer. I refactored Relayer, how it works a little bit, and now it supports like just single mode of operation. Basically starts with an archive if there is an archive. If there is not, it will start with Genesis from the API. It will switch to API when all of the blocks from archive are read. It processes all of the chains in parallel asynchronously. They can work at different rates. It does batch uploading in all cases, both for archives and live mode. Basically, it should check all of the boxes that we had. Seems to work relatively well. There were some problems, but we're fixing them. The one is, I think, with the state mine archive. It seems to miss some blocks, which needs to be investigated. And I also worked a little bit on the substrate side of things and created a small palette which issues block rewards for farmers, one subspace credit per block, and it's currently in review. And on the code side, I think that's all.
Okay, thanks, Nazar. Is everything for the relayer, has that been approved and merged, or is anything still under review?
It was.
Okay, great. Cool. And did we ever hear anything back from Frank about the on-finality API with those two chains that were not replying? No. Okay. Sometimes in Telegram you have to like mention people because they're just in so many channels they don't see it unless you specifically mention them. It's something I do a lot of the times. Okay. All right. Serge, we'll let you go next so we can talk about the relayer related stuff.
Yeah, so I've been working on today. I was checking how's Aries dev environment working until it crashed because of the issue mentioned by Nazar just now. Yeah, so apparently there was no block for state mine in the database. And yeah, I tried to restart container, but I had some issues because there is a lot of like manual work at the moment. Required to restart Docker container. And also in the meantime, while it was working, I was working on the setting up testing environment for Relayer backend. And I also implemented a few tests for pilot feeds, and that PR was already approved, but not yet merged. That's all.
Okay. Cool. So, so what are the next steps regarding the state mine issue?
So we need to, there might be some changes as far as I understand from Nazar, so we can have only one Docker file in the repository. I think Leo can talk more on that. And once it's ready, we can restart container without processing blocks from archive, and then resume. So we skip this block. So we process this particular missing block from the network, and then we can resume processing from archive. And if it happens again, we will repeat.
Okay, so we've already updated the relayer itself so that if it misses a block from the archive, it can just fetch it from the network.
No, we didn't update. We have to manually restart it at the moment. Okay. So I was trying to manually restart it, but yeah.
Okay. But we're waiting on Leo to fix that.
I think there is dependency. Leo has to wait for Nazar updates, right?
What updates? You can just run Docker restart the name of the container, it will restart.
Leo, can you maybe elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, actually, I have some updates, some pending updates. The last update I made was the number 14 pull request, and I think that there is a next one, and I have to add these updates on the relayer and update the relayer Docker image.
Yes. So currently
That
we
is
have
not
like,
in the pull request yet, right? 'Cause I don't see it.
sorry.
That is
Yeah,
not in pull request yet.
Yeah, pull request on Dockerfile was closed, I think. So currently we have like 3 on the DigitalOcean. We have 3 Docker files, which are like manually included there. And 1 Docker file for the relayer backend, and 1 Docker file for creating feeds, and another one to fund accounts, right?
But if
Yeah, I
those
will.
are
I
already
am
funded
fixing
and
that
created,
actually.
you don't need to run them anymore. You can just restart the container with relayer.
Yeah, but currently it uses the outdated relayer. So I was trying to update it before the meeting.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah, because like that version of relayer does not restart. There is like some dependency on the state folder, which shouldn't be the issue with the new version. Hope that is clear.
Okay, so that means there's something Leo needs to do to fix that?
Yes, actually, this is the real state. Yesterday we updated this development environment with the last Docker images for the network itself. So we have available this batching feature. So I updated these images and created a Docker file to test the Nazar updates on the relayer itself. But yesterday we had some unexpected behaviors, like Altair parachain was broken. It stopped producing blocks like 13 hours ago, and a couple of unexpected problems. So I was able, I was forced actually to make some tweaks to make it work just for testing in the development environment. And I canceled this old pull request on the relayer where I was working with the previous version of it, where we had this archival mode and this light mode like separated, right? So I was kind of forced to create some separated Docker files for start a seed process, an account funding process, and after that, starting the archival mode itself. So I was testing that actually, and it works. But last night, like Serge said, it got broken, and today I have to make these updates to have just 1 Docker file and 1 configuration file, and after that, it should we should be able to reset and have just 1 Docker file, so we can have this relayer working with just 1 container.
Okay, so until you get those Docker files updated, the search is blocked.
Sorry?
Until you get those Docker files updated, Serge is blocked on testing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do it. No, I can do it. I can still do it manually. Like add those 3 Docker files, add those 2 config files. So it's not like super blocker, but it would be nice to have 1 Docker file and 1 configuration file.
Okay. So you're not blocked then, Serge. You can keep testing this.
Yeah, I was about to restart manually.
Okay.
I'm still on it.
Okay, cool. So let's do that. Let's restart it manually. One thing that I'm concerned about, like, how are we like communicating on all this? Because I don't see any messages in the engineering chat about any of this. Like, this is all like brand new news to me. And I don't know like how, like if you guys are doing like private messages or whatever to coordinate this stuff.
Yeah, some DMs.
Yeah. We can use like a storage API channel for that.
it doesn't matter what channel it's in, just as long as there's some communication that we can all see and be on the same page about this instead of DMing. And just in general, that's the way we should be operating here. Okay. All right. And let's, like I asked last time if we could do updates to this in, in the chat, and I didn't see any updates. So let's try to give like incremental progress reports in whatever thread that we create on this as well. So, okay, go ahead, Nazar, I understand. Yeah, let's try to do incremental progress reports like Leo, as you, so here, I'll just make it super clear. All right. Serge, can you start a thread in Storage API called final relayer deployment? Okay. And then as soon as you get the Docker image published, as soon as you're able to manually restart, let everybody know. Leo, as soon as you get the Docker image created under, or the backend redone under a single Docker image, let everybody know. As soon as we hit another bug, let's say what the bug is. Let's create an issue on GitHub for the bug if there's one. Let's just document this stuff and communicate as we go step by step, so that we can get this thing live and move on. Is that clear to you guys?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And if you guys ever need like would prefer like a new channel or a private channel or anything like that, let me know. That's no worries.
Okay, Leo, do you have Serge, do you have any other updates on your side?
Just to mention, I was also working on the ticket from the backlog, focused on dynamically get some operations instead of having them hard-coded in the configuration file. And there is a problem, and I think I will discuss it more in details on Storage API, but like long story short, not all parachains expose public HTTP endpoint, and we rely on those. So we need to, I don't know, reach out to on Finality maybe on that, but I don't know if they provide this service to every parachain or to particular parachains. So for example, Picasso, which I think they just won and a slot, they don't have a like on Finality endpoint, but we might need to add them at some point. So yeah, this is something we need to discuss.
You may be able
Okay.
to direct the sidecar API, the Substrate API, sidecar API to it.
Sidecar API?
Yeah, Substrate has a REST API program that they make.
Yeah. I'm not sure this is, I'm talking about HTTP endpoint for the node, for the RPC.
Mm-hmm.
But Sidecar is a RESTful API. Is it for the node?
Yeah, it points back to the node, and you can do like pretty much the same requests that you can do through Polkadot.js.
Okay, I will take a look. Thanks.
What is your Telegram handle, Serge?
I don't think I have handle.
You don't have a, well, you don't have a Telegram account?
Yeah, I have a hunt, but I don't have like a nickname. I removed the nickname.
Okay, well, whatever your account address is, you can send that to me. We have a chat with some engineers from on Finality that I need to add you to, so that you can just message them directly. That was set up by their founder.
Okay. I will share with you.
Yeah, please do that on Discord. Okay. So I just want to be careful here, Serge. It's great that you're trying to get ahead and do some of these additional features, but in terms of like what we're actually pushing out into production, like let's just pause on all features. So like I don't want you submitting PRs to Nazar and then having to review these PRs and then us having to update Docker images and then like restart everything because we're just constantly adding new features every day. Like it's like we're at a point where it's working. It should be working. If it's a bug fix, that's a different story. Like we need to fix an issue that we have. But in terms of optimizing it, testing it, whatever, let's just keep all those branches independent for now until we're ready, until we actually have this working, and then we can start integrating these changes in.
No, I understand what is the priority. I was doing this while like everything was fine until the problems occurred. Yeah.
Okay. And how far did it get before the state mine issue appeared?
So it processed all those parachains except Altair and another one that was not like producing blocks. So most of the parachains and Kusama was around 130K blocks submitted.
Okay, so they were all basically all in parallel. They were going one block at a time, and they got up to about 100K. Okay, yes. And then we ran out, and then we started missing state mine blocks, and then that's when the whole thing crashed.
Yeah, it crashed immediately on the first missing block.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, any questions for Serge? Okay, Leo, if, you kind of already gave your update, but if there's anything else you need to cover, please go ahead.
Yeah, just regarding the infrastructure repository, I made a spell checking of the documentation and made some updates in there to have a better understanding of it. And actually separated the testnet environment from the development environment into Terraform status to have a future way to scale this repository. And a part of that, I was working with the relayer updates from Nazar. Like Nazar said, he made a sprint with several updates. So it has a lot of changes, starting with these separated tools to funding accounts and create the feeds. And after that is working, you can start the relayer archiving mode. So I have tested this with the new images, like I said before, and it was working. But I suppose that no one expected that Altair parachain has broken, and a couple of other errors were not actually expected. So the relayer was crashing sometimes, and I have to make some tweaks to make it work last night. Like I said, I separated these Docker files and configurations just to make it work like in a fast way and be able to test it. And I explained this to Serge, and I went to bed actually. And today I will be updating these latest Nazar updates on the relayer, where he told me that he's catching these errors, so the app shouldn't be crashing and should be more stable than before. So I will be working in that right now to update this feature, and I hope that we can restart the process and have this relayer testing on.
Okay, and Leo, when you say you're making tweaks and changes, are you just tweaking the way that the infrastructure is set up, or are you actually changing the internals of the relayer?
Internals of the relayer, yeah.
Okay, so you're basically finding bugs and correcting them within the node project.
Yeah, and
okay.
Nazar actually had this already working, I think. Yeah, he told me that. Yeah, there was a lot of pending to dos, like he said in the pull request.
Okay.
So
you were
right now.
When you say Nazar said it was already working, it means like Nazar was already working on the same bug fix that you were working on independently?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was aware. Yeah, he was aware of this Altair parachain broken and the state mine lost blocks and everything, because he was also testing in his local host.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was trying to run it in the virtual machines.
So this goes back to what I'm saying about communicating like publicly on Discord about what we're doing, so that we're not like both trying to solve the same problem independently, that we're communicating about it. And we should, like, if we identify these bugs, we need to create like bug tickets, in GitHub about them, so that we have, some documentation, some tracking of this as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. That was a quick meeting. Okay. All right. Any questions for Leo? Okay. Ozgun, you're up next.
Sure. I was dealing with mock RPC implementation, abstracting the RPC. It is done and merged, and also the previous PR, abstraction of plotting, and all the things coming together for farming and plotting for CLI is also merged. So 2 PRs merged. And as the next step, I will work on integration tests and documentation and README. So yeah, as a summary, that's all from my end.
Okay. Thanks, Ozgun. Somebody have any questions? All right. Liu-Cheng, you're up next.
Okay, so no code updates since last call, and I have mainly working on the decoupled execution research, and we had like 2 meetings. And I will like look into the Polkadot and Cumulus and how they like construct, orchestrate the parachain mechanism on the code level. Yeah, that's my next to do. Yeah, basically this is on my side.
Okay. Thanks, Liu-Cheng. And we need to set up another call with you and Nazar and I for tomorrow or Friday to go through your research and discuss next steps for an implementation for you to start on for next week.
Yeah, Friday will be good.
Okay. Friday, like we did last night in the evening, or I guess in my evening, or like this time Friday.
Okay, evening is good.
Okay.
Last night.
Okay, like we did last night. Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and set that up after this. Okay. Any questions for Liu-Cheng? All right, Justin, you're up next.
Yeah, most of my time has been focusing on the ambassador program, at least over the past couple of days. But I've been also been linking up with Leo regarding the status page, seeing if we can get Datadog linked up with that to make that a little bit of a smoother situation overall. And beyond that, I've been working on getting us, got the PR submitted for Rust and blockchain, and working on the dev updates for the mid-month developer update that Jeremiah is going to send out here in a couple days. Bit of a smaller update on my end.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Justin? All right, on my side, I've been working with Nazar and Liu-Cheng on the decoupled execution design. I've been working with David C on the horizontal scaling design. We had a good discussion on that yesterday. It looks like it might actually be simpler than we thought. And I've been doing some protocol engineer interviews with Nazar. We're working with 2 different recruiters right now, working on finding some more protocol engineers. And yeah, that's about it on the engineering front for me. Any questions for me from the group? All right. So after this, I'm going to go ahead and create all of these new meetings let's just say for the rest of this week, we're going to stick with our original meeting schedule because it's going to be really weird to switch it midweek. But starting next week, all of these new meetings will take effect. So I'm going to go and delete a bunch of meetings off the calendar for starting next week and adding a whole bunch of new ones. So you should get a whole bunch of invites, a bunch of recurring invites. Please accept them all. Okay. Don't go through and accept them like right before every meeting. That drives me crazy when I get those notifications right before the meeting that people are accepting it. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you guys again next week.